Without doubt, as Dorothy said, there's no place like home.
Hi, I'm Adam Newberry. I'm a therapy assistant practitioner and I work for South Warwickshire University Foundation Trust. So CRS, the Community Recovery Services team, it was actually a pilot scheme. There was only 6 hospitals that were asked to be a part of it, and it's basically when a patient is discharged from hospital, they want to try and instead of people being stuck in hospital, they obviously want to free up bed space and avoid people being in hospital unnecessarily. Obviously those people need to be safe to be able to go home to their own environment. So by being on the CRS pathway, a person will receive care for up to 6 weeks. So when they're discharged, they have what we call a QDS package of care, which is carers coming in 4 times a day at the times that's most important for that patient to have help, which would be morning, lunch, tea and bed. So they're supervised or supported with getting washed and dressed, putting creams on, taking medication, all their food preparation, hot drinks. They look at every element of what the person needs to do in their home. We have physiotherapists, occupational therapists, therapy assistants, and we can liaise across the whole of the MDT. We're able to refer to the SALT team, speech and language therapy, for example, safeguarding, palliative care, orthotics if we think somebody needs a referral for their footwear. There's so many things that we can do just to make sure that someone is safe and they have everything that they need in order to be able to remain at home. So we're going to see one of my patients now. I think this is the 3rd time I've seen him. Initially he was discharged from hospital having been quite unwell for quite a length of time. Unfortunately, after coming home, did have a second fall and then was admitted into hospital again, and that all happened prior to me seeing him. I have set some carer goals for the patient as well as things for him to work on that he wanted to do within his home environment. I've set him a home exercise program, which we will also go over today. I'll make sure that everything's okay, he's getting on okay with his carers, and basically that he's as happy and safe as he can be in his own environment. I always ring the doorbell or give a little knock just so that someone knows that I'm coming in, and then I'll open the door and I'll give a little shout out. Hi Barry! Hi, it's only Adam.
I get around fine. Obviously, with the use of this implement, I try and venture around unaided, although I can use the walls and doors as support where necessary. I've written 2 books whilst I've been here, which are published. My 50-year career in the motor industry, working for different vehicle manufacturers and so on around the world. I worked in 50 countries in 50 years. My boss of the car company was called John Zachary DeLorean. The car is the DeLorean, as I'm sure you know, named after him. And so the first book is called John Z, because we have to be American, not John Z, John Z, the DeLorean and Me, which flows rather well actually, doesn't it? Z and me rhyming. And the second book is about the other 45 and a half years of my career doing other things. So that's called 45 and a half years without John DeLorean. Major loss was the fact that prior to being ill, every Thursday I would go on a 5 to 8 mile walk across muddy Warwickshire fields in the winter, year round, regardless of weather, with my walking pals. They still do it, I don't. One of my aims, long-term aims, with Adam's help, is to get back to doing that. I can assure you that 6 weeks in a hospital bed does nothing for a damaged knee. It made the situation significantly worse. So I'm very happy now to be, despite the fact that on some occasions it hurts a bit, I'm quite happy to be doing the exercises that Adam's taken me through. Without doubt, as Dorothy said, there's no place like home.
So once Barry gets to the end of his pathway with CRS, he does need ongoing care, so he will be referred for a long-term package of care. That will be set up in place, so at no point would he be without care. That will be ongoing until he's had a Care Act assessment and everything's in place. For his mobility, I'll refer him to our routine team, which means that although I won't be going in to do rehab with him, somebody else will go in, pick up on his mobility and hopefully achieve his long-term goal of going out on his long walks again. So part of the CRS pathway, it's all around reablement and enabling people to do as much for themselves as they can. There's weekly meetings, not only with us, like my team, where we talk about every single patient, how their care is going, if we've been able to reduce, say for example, them from having double-handed care down to single-handed care, if we've been able to reduce the amount of calls that they're having each day, because what we don't want is to get to the end of their period of care on the pathway, and then when the care suddenly stops, it's a real shock to the system for that person, because everyone's been doing everything for them. So by us supporting them to be as independent as they can and encouraging them to do as much for themselves as what they can, it means we gradually reduce their dependence on the carers, and then when they come to the end of the pathway, they're in a position where they're more able to cope with what will happen after. So one of the benefits of people or patients having therapy at home is when they're in a hospital environment and they're reviewed as to how mobile they are, how safe they are, how they are with their transfers. Unfortunately, it's a forced environment and it's very difficult to replicate a patient's home environment in hospital. So it isn't really until they're home and they're assessed there that we can identify any problems that they have. And we look at everything from toilet transfers, bed transfers, managing the stairs, getting in and out of the shower, just getting on and off of a chair, if someone's able to make a cup of tea or make food for themselves, every element of the things they need to be able to do functionally to remain safe in their own home, it gives us the opportunity to assess that. And also because we can signpost to so many other services as well, it gives us the opportunity to do that and make sure that the person is as safe as they can possibly be.